identity because of the diversity differences in our institutional, philosophical and cultural differences. And the common challenge that help the member states to come together, as I understand, the utmost important challenge is that none of the single member state can shoulder responsibility with the quick or rapid developments of the world economic and security and political institution transformation. And no single member country can obtain the capacity or the power by its own. So that's why we come together. And so to me, the crux of the entire process for the next step development is how to promote or enhance the mutual coordination among the member countries to face the challenge of global governance. But before going on to the detailed analysis or some of the focal points I would love to through around the table, let me just refer first to the basic definition of the governance. And what is a governance? And it was derived from the note of corporation or corporate governance, which is mainly relevant to the business and the firm reorganization. So basically, it is a network building or rebuilding process in which relevant actors are steadily incorporated or reorganized in which, in horizontal order to maximize shared states and objectives. So it represents a new way of architecture that entails greater correspondence among participants for the sake of increasing or prioritize human identity and interest. So with reference to that basic concepts, I would love to make my own observation or focal prediction, predictive remarks on the future missions for the member states within the framework. And of course, this is my personal view. It's not representing the official voice from Beijing. Let me just lay out very briefly then what is the basic missions in terms of the enlarging the role of the BRIC countries in the aspect of global governance. I think the global governance is too big and broad issue and topic that we cannot, by ourselves, by 5 countries, to solve individually or separately. But basically, we can start from ourselves as initial steps to further forge our leadership in the forthcoming years. And I think the first issue or the first aspect that we need to meet or to overcome, as difficult is how to handle well in a reasonable way the relationship between the quantitative and qualitative growth. As many of my colleagues mentioned earlier this morning, that these 5 member states representing not only the geopolitical importance, but also the reality that we have already played the stimulative or the leading force for the economic recovery in the post-crisis time. However, I think the fast or rapid growth does not represent that we are perfect in terms of development paradigm. And there are so many pitfalls I cannot say too much about the rest of member countries, but for instance, in China, then we have so many, we know ourselves that we have so many unreasonable but inherited pitfalls that we need to overcome. That's why the latest government announced a 12 5-year plan, stressed too much importance of the shift and restructuring our industry sectors and models, and just to extend more government and financial resources to the social development, to have a more balanced development, and stress very much on the education, on the redistribution of wealth, and to promote the income level of the ordinary or general public. So I think this meant a great challenge, but at the same time it also means a lot of opportunities for the member countries to work together, to share these sort of challenge as well as the opportunities. For instance, as I talked to Professor Yang last night at a cocktail party, then Chinese education have a lot of shortcomings in terms of social sciences talents. In my institute, we are running a very serious shortage of language talents, and only minority of my research staff speak fluent Spanish and Portuguese. Why? Just because of the smaller size of the training program of the language study at universities, as well as of the recent reform of education that was very much on market-oriented, purpose, so that have misled many talents to prioritize their destination after graduation as the as enterprises, as well as the government ministries, instead of these less income research but hard draw institutes. So by continue or stick on to the continuous openness to the outside world, and to enhance the integrity with the other parts of the world, particularly with the member countries of the BRICS, then we can have the extra resources of faculties at least, and also through the exchange and communication, and we can have a lot of advanced ideas of modern education. And second, I think the challenge and also the basic mission for the member countries to accomplish in the near future is to promote the intra-BRICS policy coordination, and at the same time to get a balanced deal with the rest or extra multilateral framework regimes currently in the international arena. For instance, then we can play the brokerage or the bridge role between the developing and developed world. And the third mission or the challenge we have to take over is that we have to sort out the priority between the bilateral and multilateral relationships. I personally prefer that respective members of the BRICS then should be strongly encouraged to further and rapidly, promote their political trust in a bilateral way in order to underscore any, productive or benign multilateral arrangements in the longer run. So, in my perspective, in order to meet the above said challenges, and I think there are at least 3 prerequisites remained, or as recommended, or as reminded by me. And first, then we should take the policy coordination as to be, I think, the top priority, and that will ensure the policy continuity because of the changes of the administrations, the changes of the politicians in a certain member country's leadership that will affect, I think, the personal ties at least, but in the longer run that will dismantle, if I can say seriously, then there's some basic previous achievements we have achieved through the summit process. And the second, in order to ensure that with or without such changes in personality of the leadership and the policy can continue or maintain the basic continuity, that trust should be improved by each party to subordinate short-term and micro-level disagreements to the longer run and micro-level commonalities. For instance, each party may take into account very seriously in terms of the trade structure and prefer to take the protectionist or measures of protection. But we should have the basic consensus on ourselves that none of us is allowed to go further and to adopt the protectionist doctrine in a general behavior. And the third prerequisite for me, I would love to stress, is that we have to enlarge the public consensus by building more transmission infrastructures at the outside of the next agenda to ensure that each member society be the final beneficiary of any major achievements politically or economically by the BRICS summits or officials in this regard, to let them know, and also that is the best way to help us to avoid the democracy deficit that the EU integration process once suffered. So in the end, let me conclude here with the emphasis of the general rules of growth of any economy in the world. I think it is the policy that really matters, and the policy economic performance does not follow the general trends, but it follows specific human decisions. Either it is done smartly or unwisely, but I stress this is the right name to be taken by the center, and that is the real aspect that we should extend our emphasis to our next step process. Thank you.
Thank you especially for the good timing. Our next speaker is Zorawar Dolet Singh from India, Center for Policy Alternatives. Please.
Thank you. Is it coming through? Okay. I'll try and answer three themes today in my presentation. Firstly, why the old arrangements are declining in their capacity and legitimacy. Secondly, are BRICS serious about